Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Sarah Boone, our favorite or unfavorite, depending upon how you'd like to view that, case here in Winter Park in Orange County, Florida. She was back in court yesterday, which was Friday, and she's having some issues with her current attorney, Patricia Cashman. What a shocker, huh? This is attorney number 8, and she really feels like she's not being nice to her. So let's go through. The court TV has the only footage I was able to get a hold of. It kind of jumps in a little bit late, but we will get into what they have available. So let's check out what Sarah had to say in court this week.
Judge, I've obviously not seen the letter. Ms. Boone is correct. She has walked out of the last 2 visits when I've tried to review things with her. Just so the court knows, I've spent probably 20 hours, a little bit more, a little bit less, with Ms. Boone. She has lots of lists, lots of questions. In reviewing the court file, she was distressed previously about having access to her lawyers. I have taken collect phone calls from her that are at my expense. JAC doesn't reimburse you because I think it's important for clients to have access. I have spent...
Hang on, please. No one's interrupted you this morning, Ms. Boone.
As I said, I've spent over 20 hours going through her questions, going through her lists. When I tried to update her with regard to the depositions that I took recently, she opted to exit the jail conference. When I tried to review some things with regard to discovery as to things I wanted to make sure she was aware of, she walked out. She has asked me repeatedly for a copy of some medical records. Based on the discovery I got from the previous attorneys, one of the copies of those medical records had her handwritten notes. So she had a copy given to her previously. She'd reviewed them with previous attorneys. I sent her a new copy. Some of the things that she thinks are important from a lawyer perspective, perhaps I don't attach the same importance to, and you try to explain that to a client. I know the court's in a difficult position, but at this point we're at that impasse of if she walks out of every conference that I have with her, I'm not sure what that says about the attorney-client relationship.
Ma'am, you said there was something else that you had other than a 58-page submittal or letter.
Okay, so Cashman is trying to work with Sarah Boone. And as we know, this seems to be a constant issue with Sarah. She has trouble getting along with her attorneys. Now, that's not to say that there haven't been some issues on some of the attorneys' behalf, but at this point, when you're on attorney number 8, okay, that is being paid for by the taxpayers, and that's me. Remember, I told you guys I live in Orange County, Florida, so my tax dollars are going to pay for all this stuff she's getting. But I mean, I completely agree that she deserves a fair trial. I mean, I never would disagree with following our legal system, but it's getting to be a lot to comprehend, because it's just how many attorneys does she expect to have and keep starting over, and how long does she want to just sit in jail? I mean, my opinion, she's not going to get out, but obviously she needs to have her trial. So Cashman has tried to work with her. She's even said that she's taken collect phone calls from her. And she's walked out of meetings. So again, it seems like Sarah previously was complaining that, she couldn't get meetings with some of her attorneys, and now she's walking out of meetings with the current attorney. I mean, it's like, which way do you want it,
What other information is it that you're seeking to have me take a look at?
It's things that I've been working on in the meantime. It's things that she likes to tell me is not necessary, but I know for a fact it is necessary. She likes to, in quotes, put things to rest all the time and constantly tells me I'm not having this conversation with you. So I'm not going to waste my time, and I, being in jail, have supposedly abundant amounts of. She's not going to waste my time because she's not going to explain something to me. And I have taken it upon myself to explain it to myself because she refuses to do so. I don't understand what it is that she has against me. I have told her from day one that her snotty attitude was inappropriate, and I try very hard to bear with her and her attitude.
Her snotty attitude. So Sarah thinks that Cashman is snotty to her. And it sounds like she wants her to hold her hand and explain everything to her. I mean, at this point, you would think that Sarah would have a good idea about, a lot of her case. I mean, this happened in 2020, okay? Right before the pandemic, all the lockdowns. I mean, come on. Again, it's on the screen right now, February 25th, 2020. At this point, does she not know all the information about her case?
I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong to her, but I feel that her attitude has equaled prejudice, which is not in my favor, especially considering she supposedly represented my life.
Okay. Give me an example, if you could, of items that you believe are important Ms. Catchman is not giving attention to or dismissing as you may have framed it.
Yes, Your Honor. She likes to tell me that I don't like her answers. She's not giving me any answers to this. I've written 3 pages worth of questions, and I'm still waiting for her and any other attorney to actually answer for me, such as, why can't I have a bond? Why can't I have a download of my phone? Why can't I speak to my investigator? Why can't I have my medical records? Why can't I fully utilize my constitutional rights? There's 3 pages worth of questions that I have.
What constitutional rights specifically?
I'm very leery about having a fair trial at this point. There's a handful of other amendments that I have been researching and working on and trying to incorporate. To me, what I have written to you is obvious, and apparently from the correspondence that I get from the world, South Korea was the last place that I received correspondence. They obviously see the same thing. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong other than wanting to have a very successful outcome. It's just been long and drawn out, and I believe that God obviously believes in me as much as I do him in order to give me this very unique adventure that I am on, and I'm doing
this long drawn out process and this adventure that she's on. Well, if you want to call it an adventure, I don't think if you didn't put George in the suitcase and let him die in there, you wouldn't be on this quote unquote adventure, Sarah. And I've never heard of anyone describe being charged with murder and sitting in jail waiting their trial an adventure. That's new. And she's got people across the world saying all this stuff. I have no idea. But she is difficult to work with, and a lot of the delays are on Sarah.
Doing my best to let everyone know who I really am as opposed to the malicious murderer that everyone thinks that I am. I don't feel that she can do that properly. I still always, the reason why I'm here is hope. is to hope that she will come in with a gentle, softer side and actually listen to what it is that I'm saying and see the bigger picture other than what's the one avenue that she keeps going down. There's other ways to win and in more than one way. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not saying that I'm trying to remove her. I'm just trying to ask you, please, forgive me for having to ask you for this. If you could please let her know, please, to just be nice to me and have a welcoming attitude, and things will probably change, and I will not get up and I walk out. Please don't lie to me. Please don't give me half-truths.
She wants her to be nicer to her lawyer. I don't know really what to say beyond, do you want her to give you hugs and pats on the head and stuff? I mean, come on, Sarah, you're in jail and you're being charged with the murder of your boyfriend, George Torres, okay? I mean, there's no coddling involved in this stuff. And again, this is attorney after attorney after attorney, and the fact that you want all these things, you have all these demands, and you believe these things that you could get. I mean, you financially don't have the money to hire your own attorney. So there's just so many options for you.
I'm just trying to ask you, please, forgive me for having to ask you for this. If you could please let her know, please, to just be nice to me and have a welcoming attitude, and things will probably change, and I will not get up and I walk out. Please don't lie to me. Please don't give me half-truths. And
what instances where there's been falsities or lies that have been told to you by Ms. Cashman? Can you give me an example?
My biggest one, Your Honor, is for me being here ongoing 5 years, no one has ever bothered to try to get me a bond.
What's the lie? You said that she has lied to you. What is the lie?
The process of getting a bond. She lied to my brother in regards to telling him that he would need to come down to the courthouse to have multiple photographs taken for documentation. He would have to bring the security information deeds to his house to her, and then it turns into everything else. And then it turns into all these other different stories of why she won't do or why she has said certain things. It always changes and it mutates after I ask her for certain things, not just for the bond, but for other things also.
Okay, well, let's focus on the bond issue, because you said that she's lied to you, and what you've told me so far, none of that is inaccurate.
So how is it, though, because I don't have any experience prior to this, I don't know the process of getting a bond other than what I have read, and it's just for her to do a bond, a motion for a bond hearing. But I didn't know that anyone, all of the other inmates, even officers, have ever said that they've had to do that process in order to have photographs taken and documented and news crews and visit to his house. He's not posting my bond, which I told her a million and one times, but she still spooked him by asking by him thinking that he's going to have to, and it would threaten his security clearance considering he's in the service, the military. So she totally deterred me from having my brother's address in order for me to have a motion for a bond. No one else has even bothered to even ask me for one, and I will be honest with you in the court. I know for a fact that however sky high my limit would be for my bond to receive, I know for a fact unless my fans would set up GoFundMe pages or God's will or however else it is he planned for me to have it paid, if at all.
Yes, she just said her fans would set up a GoFundMe to help her pay for a bond. First of all, you don't typically get bond when you're charged with murder, Sarah. And second of all, I was unaware that she had fans. Does she think she's like famous? I mean, she's kind of infamous for what she did, but fans? I'm not sure that's what I call those of us following the case exactly.
My point is to utilize my rights to have a bond, and with the information I have included in here to you, for the amount of saturation of publicity information that everybody already knows about me, what I look like, and what I eat, apparently, and so many other things. There's nowhere I could go if I were to even think about paying a flight risk. It's just the fact that I would like police to have a bond so I can say that I actually achieved something.
Told me he had to provide pictures or deed to a house. What it said was, he's been in the courtroom for all the hearings, and it's likely that they would be here for the bond hearing, and that your face could be on the television, and it was a concern for him. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. But Judge, I can't spend all my time defending what I'm doing and at the same time be effectively preparing a case for trial. In these situations, I know it puts the court in a very difficult position. As I see it, Ms. Boone has a couple options. Number one, she can ask you to represent herself. She has the right to. You have a Feretta hearing and determine whether she's capable. The court then has to address the issue of whether it's appropriate to appoint standby counsel. Obviously, since she believes not a word that I say after 40 years of doing criminal defense, I'm probably not the right lawyer for that. The other thing is she gets one last lawyer, it either works or it doesn't. And sometimes, unfortunately, the court gets put in a position that you have to have that conversation with a client that you don't. If you want your counsel of choice, then you need to hire your counsel of choice, and everyone can certainly do that. And if you're indigent, the court can only go through this so many times with Miss Boone coming to the court, and there ending up being irreconcilable differences such that the counsel that you have appointed can't move forward and provide effective assistance to counsel.
Okay.
Cashman she's a smart attorney. I can look at the way she just spoke. She is, obviously I'm not a lawyer, but I think everything she said was very clear cut. She's got over 40 years of experience. Sarah's history with all of her previous attorneys is just not good. Her reputation is preceding her because she is a difficult client. And again, like Patricia Cashman just said, you've only got so many options when you can't afford to hire your own attorney. And coming back to the tax dollars, it's frustrating as a taxpayer in Orange County, Florida, that this is taking so long. And of course, Sarah blames everybody but herself. And it's sad that she can't look in the mirror and realize that, a lot of these problems they start with you, Sarah. They start with you.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm inclined to go ahead and figure out. My last week of my period is the first full week of August, and it starts again on the last full week of August. So we could set it then, but I know that you have trial case management with Judge Marquez on the 20th or the 21st of June, which may impact that. So,
and I have a trial certain with Judge Harris August 5th, and
as do I.
August seems a bit difficult for me.
For a week, for Mr. Robinson. So the options that I see it are, we could specially set this for the week of August 26th, or we set it for the trial period beginning September 30. The hiccup with that first week of September 30 is we have a court holiday on Thursday, October the 3rd, which would limit us to a 4-day trial period, which I don't believe is not sufficient. So that would take us to either October 7 or October 14. So based on the court's trial calendar, that's what I've got available. August 26th, October 7, or October 14.
I think the October 7th or October 14th is more realistic, Judge. I know that Mr. Cacciatore has other trials too and other things on other judges' pretrial dockets and those things.
We're specially set in July and in September. Mr. Cacciatore?
I think we can, I think October 7th is fine.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to specially set this matter for the second week of the September 30 trial period, beginning Monday, October 7th. We will set this matter for trial case management on the 24th of September, right? On September 24 at 9 a.m. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do you at 1:30 in the afternoon.
It's Tuesday, September 20th.
Tuesday, September 24 at 1:30 in the afternoon for our trial case management. Trial date certain on October the 7th. Deputy, if you could please grab the 2 packages of submittals from Ms. Boone.
So we missed part of it because Court TV lost their feed. But the gist of it is they're trying to work with Sarah and hope they can work some of this out and finally get this to trial. You know, I don't know. I personally don't have high hopes at all.
Oh, I thought it was 2 different envelopes, ma'am. Okay. I will review that, and after the review, the court will either issue an order or set this matter for hearing based on what it is that's been presented by Ms. Boone. Mr. Cacciatore, anything else we need to address this morning, sir?
Not to say.
Ms. Cashman, anything else we need to address?
Not that I'm aware of it this time, Judge.
Ms. Boone, is there anything else you need to bring to my attention at this time?
I'm grateful for your time. I forgive you for having to utilize it. But I really do hope that you review thoroughly what it is that I'm asking for from my attorney who's supposed to be representing me for the trial that's supposed to be happening in October, late September. So if you could please, I don't understand how I'm supposed to be able to go into a trial when I don't have what it is to properly defend myself.
Ma'am, I've asked for your submittals. I will be reviewing them. All right, thank you. All right, y'all, thank you very much. Have a great day.
So the judge is going to look at her 58 pages. Cringe. I'll have to see if that goes up, and it will eventually get posted in the clerk's website. And I don't know if I'll go through all 58 pages, but you guys let me know if you're interested. It won't be one video, obviously, because that's a lot of stuff. And it looks like he's going to try to see if they can get this to work out so they can try to get something going, you know, in the fall. Again, I don't know how successful that's going to be. And I don't think Sarah is happy. But has Sarah ever really, truly been happy? No, I don't think so. She put herself in this bind. She put herself in this hole. And she is making it extremely difficult to work with her. And again, it's just it's frustrating, obviously, for all these attorneys, not just her defense attorneys, but the state and these judges. I mean, this is the newer judge, you know, in the case. And I think that, I mean, at this point, I think they just would love to get this off to trial and get it off of the docket that keeps getting pushed out. So, guess we'll have to keep an eye on the clerk's website and see if that date happens, and if things change between now and then. I mean, it is the beginning of June, so you're talking, you know, June, July, August, September. You know, you're like, it's at least 4 months away before they would even be probably doing a whole lot. But I don't know, guys. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I feel like she has rights. I mean, everybody, you know, we all deserve to be properly represented. And obviously she can't afford her own attorney. But it's just gotten to the point where it feels like she needs to be issued. It's like, listen, you either work with Cashman or you represent yourself with assisted counsel. I mean, I feel like it's got to happen. I mean, we can't keep playing this game with her. It's like, and it almost makes me wonder if she's playing this game hoping to try for a mental, health defense, like insanity. I don't know. I mean, do you guys think that's possible? It came to my mind as well. I mean, all these things that she said, I mean, it's, who knows? But let me know what you guys think about the Boone situation. And it's sad because George is being lost in all this, and, his family's got to be beyond frustrated. And, who I really feel sad for is her son, Sarah Boone's son. I mean, it's got to be rough, for him, and her ex, through all this stuff. But yeah, so we will keep an eye on this, as always. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.